but it's Aluf clear, and Aluf is going to stride away and win by a length and a half to Gibbon.
Yeah, what a great result for Aluf and everybody involved there. Geez, he's been consistent, that horse. I think he's been placed 10 of his last 11 starts. So interesting, those sort of horses, isn't it? When they're always so consistent, they may not be the best horse in the race, but when they're always performing, eventually the cards will fall your way. So well done there, great result. Also, I thought Fill The Flute went fantastic. I probably would have just liked to have seen her come a little bit wider up the straight, and I don't know if she got caught on the worst going, but she didn't got caught on inferior going to what Aluf was. But probably the positive side of her is she copped a good smack around the bum and really found, and looked like she was going to run 5th or 6th or something, and she ended up running 4th, beaten under 2 lengths from the second horse. So that's, you know, against the boys, I thought she did a really good job. She's probably not far off the mark, I wouldn't think. Her work's been great, and I think she's going good, so she's probably not far at all off winning. Okay, really busy this week, and I've got a couple of really nice horses racing. Okay, Friday, Duke of Oz goes to Geelong. Now he's going to be, this will be too short for him. We'll punch out, be sort of midfield, and they'll probably sprint up and leave him a bit flat-footed, so we need these to really run along. He ran first up okay, he sort of got back in a really slowly run race, and they sprinted up and sprinted away from him. So I just want to get him up to 2,000 metres plus. He was placed over 3,000 metres at the Valley last time in, so I just need to get him up over a good distance as quick as I can. He'll probably run this Friday, then back up sort of 10 days later, then 10 days again, and he should be right at the mark. But I think he's going really good. He looks great, the horse. So he'll go to Geelong on Friday. Okay, Saturday, we drive all the way down to Casterton. Now, young Douro, the poor bugger, he's been absolutely taken on in front the last 2 starts, so I'll just see how he goes there, and he's been in work a while, that horse. I just reckon he probably almost needs to go to the paddock. He had a big tough run the other day at Wodonga and got really taken on badly, so I'll just see if he draws a gate, and there's no real pressure early. He'll go down to Casterton on Saturday. He's won at that track and distance and same grade, so he'll be every chance down there. I took Pantera Nera to Donald the other day, and he wasn't beaten far, and he beaten probably 3/4 of a length, and I think he ran 4th, which he's not bad at doing that horse. But I'll have a look at the field there. If I think he can run in the first 3, I'll take him down there as well. I don't think it'll be an overly strong race, and backing him up doesn't bother me at all. I thought he was nice, and he's eaten well, and I thought he was nice and bright this morning, so I'll just see how he goes. But both young Douro and Pantera Nera, maybe a little bit of a question mark whether I take them, but if I do, I'll expect them to be placing or better. Okay, now Sunday, Ballarat, they've made this the synthetic track too, which is interesting. Interesting, Ballarat are doing very similar to what Geelong did. Every chance they can, they transfer them off the grass and onto the synthetic. So anyway, it's a decision they're making. Righto, now Mannza, he's been really going great, this horse, and he's just been looking for a trip. I've had a little breathing problem with him, but the jockeys are saying that it seems pretty good. So I'm going to give him a crack at the 2,000 metres, which is what he's sort of looking at. It's actually 2,100 metres, which is, I reckon, the distance this horse is really looking for. So if he's breathing well and he copes with it all, he'll be right around about the mark. Nice 2,100 metres 64. If he can just draw a gate and sort of lob outside the leader, they'll be perfect. But he's maiden over 2,000 metres, and this is what he's been looking for. But I've just had a little breathing problem with him, and I think we've got that sorted out. Also, HONEYWINE went really good the other day, probably just a little bit stiff, got caught up in a bit of traffic up at Donald. I've also got him in. I'll do a bit of work with him on Friday morning. If he works okay, I might back him up and run him there in a benchmark 70, which I think you'll really appreciate. Almost funny, some of these horses, they actually really appreciate the jump up in grade. It's a better, stronger tempo, and they can sort of sit back and really hit the line. Sometimes you run them in lowly graded races and they travel really keen and get held up behind some slow horses. So, but he might back up as well. Okay, now we go to Tatura on Monday. Got 2 horses having their first start. A horse called No GST. He trialled up okay the other day. He's only an absolute pony, this horse. It's a little fella. And I actually took him up. I was going to run him at Swan Hill a couple of weeks ago, and I took him up to Swan Hill, and because he was in so early, we had to go up the night before, and he just didn't settle. He didn't eat and he didn't drink, so we scratched him and we brought him home. So we're giving him a couple of weeks to get over that. I thought he worked up lovely yesterday morning, so he can go off to Tatura on Monday, a little 1,100 metre maiden, and I would say he'd be pretty competitive. I think he's probably going to be a 1,300 or 1,400 metre horse, but he does a lot right, that horse, so he'll be pretty competitive. A little filly called Vahvuus. She'll have her first start. We got her down from Sydney. She's only had the 1 start, and I'm 4th at Warwick Farm. Gave her a nice trial the other day at Ballarat, and she trialled up pretty sharp. So she's just a filly that's a very highly strung, temperamental filly. So she's probably really suited to training us here at the farm, where we can train her out of a paddock and keep her nice and relaxed, and make sure she doesn't leave it all on the training track. Look, I've done plenty of work with her now. She's nice and fit. 1100 metre maiden up there at Chachira. She should bounce and sit outside the leader, if not lead. Try and get a nice, easy sort of go of it the first half of the race, then finish off. But she's really well above average horse. She's very fast horse, so she's ready to go to the races, and expect it to be pretty hard to beat up there. Okay, Tuesday we'll probably fill the truck up Tuesday and head off to Ballarat Synthetic again. You know, it's interesting, and it's similar races on the Sunday and the Tuesday, but anyway, both the synthetic. Okay, horse called Squibbly Dibbly. He's it's poor bugger. I've had him accepted twice, and he's drawn fit barrier 15 and 18 or something. The 2 times I've accepted with him. So cross our fingers, Squibbly can draw a gate and get to the races. So he's in a little 1200 metre maiden up there. He'll bounce. He'll probably box seat and get given every chance. Pretty nice horse, above average, but he's certainly ready to go to the races. Horse called One Penny Red. He showed us a tape of speed last time, and he was a bit of a just a jump and really let rip, and he would just about lead anything up. And he was just a bit of a knucklehead. He was just going too hard early and then falling a heap. So we've given him a really nice spell. He's probably growing a hand, this horse. He's growing heaps, and probably is still growing. So that's really positive. We know we've got plenty up our sleeve. He's not really stripped down tight, hard fit yet, so I've got a lot of improvement in it, but he's definitely fit enough to run first up. So I'm really looking forward to be able to giving him a long preparation, which is great. And he probably couldn't have trialled much better. I took him to the synthetic and trialled him the other day, and I don't think he could have trialled much better. So he's ready to go. So One Penny Red will go there first up, 1000 metre maiden. He'll bounce, and I imagine he'll be right on the speed somewhere. But the difference to him this time is he's definitely getting to the line. He seems a lot stronger animal, so that's good. Hums. I took Hums up to Swan Hill the other day. He went okay without going great, and he come home and it took him a long time to get over the trip. Sometimes those big trips away for young horses don't really suit, sort of 5 hours in the truck up there and back, and he just knocked him for 6. So I'll do a bit of work with him in the morning. I expect him to work good. He certainly looks well, and he'll go to a little 1200 metre class 1 at Ballarat Tuesday. 2 fillies, 2 staying fillies, one by Fioronte and one by So You Think, probably haven't shown us a great deal, and certainly in their trials were pretty plain. So they're ready to go to the races. We're going to knock them around with them. We'll start them first up in a 1500 metre race, and probably ride them off the speed, have them hitting the line, and then they need to sort of maybe step up to a 1800, and then maybe 2000 metres third up and make a decision where they're headed. But both really nice horses, both very sound, both bred to be 1.25 mile horses, so that's where we're headed with them. But certainly they haven't shown us enough speed to be competitive in anything under probably a mile, which is why we're going to kick them both off in 1500 metre race. That's one horse called Queen of Spring and another one called Smart Agent. Now Wednesday Sandown, I might run a filly called Young Hostess. She's just a little bit of a difficult horse. She's only a very small horse, and she gets a heap of weight in lowly graded races. So absolute staying horse. I was going to step her out at Geelong on Friday in a 1700, but she's just not going to be competitive in anything under 2000 metres. So I might just take a punt and take her straight to town over 2000 metres, where she'll get into the race reasonably on weights, and we'll just bop along and sort of ride her off the speed and have her hitting the line, and then sort of go up to a mile and a half with her. But lovely little fillies, lovely and sound, and does everything right, but she's just not very fast. She just shows no speed at all, but she does hit the line really well. So I'll probably give her a nice solid gallop on Saturday morning. If she gallops up nice and solid and hits the line, well then I'll probably just take her to Sandown first up over 2000 metres.
G'day guys, welcome to Around the Stables. This week's horse is a horse who's going to be first up on Tuesday at Ballarat, called One Penny Red. He had his first prep last start, and yeah, showed us enough ability here at the racetrack, but sort of come race day he sort of wanted to race pretty cleanly and sort of want to get it over and done with pretty quickly. But since he's gone in the paddock, he's probably grown a hand and really matured up. Even his demeanour around the stables is a lot more sort of relaxed, but and then through his gallops he can sort of build a steady pace and then really hit the line hard, where last time in he was showing a heap of speed, but then he was just getting to the line, where now he's sort of steaming through the line. So he's still got the same speed that he sort of did, and he's hitting the line better. That's probably just come with a bit of maturity and age. But yeah, he'll go around at Ballarat on Tuesday on the synthetic over 1000 metres.
Hi guys, we've got a pretty busy weekend ahead. We head down the highway to Casterton for 4 rides on the Saturday, and then back home on the Saturday night and on a plane Sunday early morning to Devonport for another 4 rides there. 8 rides over the weekend, and I reckon there's probably at least 2 or 3 of them that have got pretty good chances, so we'll see how we go over the weekend. That's all we got so far for the week. Hopefully we can pick up a few more rides early at a few meetings next week, and hopefully got a winner or two to talk about next week.
That's it for another week at Emsley Lodge. Thanks for watching. See, Pete tipped 3 winners last week, so I hope everybody got on there. Everyone's cashed up, that's good. I'd say they're going to start, they brought in a new policy, Racing Victoria, they're going to prepare tracks that have to be with a lot more give in it. They, at the moment, they're sort of preparing the track that, you know, it has to be, I don't know, a good 3 during the day or something, but what's happening is they're a good 3 really early in the morning, then come lunchtime, the bloody tracks are a good 2, so. Really interesting, tough job for the course curators to, they're going to have to come up with something like a dead 5 sort of in the morning, and then it'll be a good 3 by the end of the day, so a bit of a trick. I think they muck up tracks a fair bit by overwatering or underwatering or whatever, so I think they're making the job very hard for the track curators, but anyway, I'm glad it's not my job, because I reckon it's one of the toughest jobs of all time. Until next week, see you later. Been so consistent. I think he's been placed 10 of his 11 last starts. His last starts? Last starts.